You are entering the urban suite. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community with Dr. Lisa LaCON. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community with Dr. Lisa LaCON. mental health,
Hello, my urbanites. How are you all doing tonight? Oh my gosh, this is November the 2nd, 2021, election night in New Jersey. And welcome into the Urban Suite, you guys. You are here with Dr. Lisa LaCON, and we have a lot of things to get into tonight. But before we begin, let me put this up. We are sponsored by Bless Ministries Incorporated. Yes, I love BMI. BMI is a workforce development agency in the state of New Jersey, and we work with various populations to get them employed. Whether you are on parole, probation, coming from drug court, or receiving food stamps, you may have a disability, and you are an adult or a youth, you can come to our office located downtown Newark. If you want more information about who we are, visit our website, www.bmiworks.org. That's www.bmiworks.org. And our telephone number is 973-733-WORK, which translates into 9675. So it's 973-733-9675. Yeah, so how's everyone out there doing tonight? Oh my gosh, thank you for showing up in the Urban Suite. Listen, Urbanites, we have a lot of things to discuss tonight. A lot of things to discuss. But before we go into our major discussion about Howard University, you have to like, share, and subscribe to my page, especially share, because I told you what I'm going to do. Each episode, I highlight someone missing. Okay, so I'm getting ready to highlight 2 people. All right, 2 people. Now, the first one, let's see. You all remember I highlighted Farouk Asilawu. Well, unfortunately, Farouk Asilawu, his remains were found. He has been declared dead. Farouk Asilawu, who is 22 years old, he was last seen in Baltimore, Maryland, has been declared dead. It is now a homicide investigation with the Baltimore, Maryland police. So I thank you if you had the opportunity to share who he is amongst your people in Baltimore, anyone, whatever. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so the next one is, we have from our very own backyard, her name is Jashia Moore, is it? Jashia Moore. Federal, state, and local authorities have joined the effort in search for a teenage girl who went missing from her East Orange home about 2 weeks ago. Listen, please share this information. Please share, share, share. 14 years old, missing from her East Orange, New Jersey home. Around the corner, you guys. She's missing. She's 14 years old. About 2 weeks ago. That's a long time. About 2 weeks ago. According to a statement released by the East Orange police, Jashia Moore was last seen on October 14th around 10 p.m. at Poppy's Deli store at 520 Central Avenue. Now, I know where Central Avenue is. I have no idea where Poppy's Deli is, but I'm sure there are cameras around. I am pretty certain. Police say Moore is 5'5" tall and weighs about 135 pounds. She was last seen wearing khaki pants, a black jacket, and black boots. The East Orange Police, the FBI, and the New Jersey State Police are working in collaboration to help find Jashia to bring her home safely. All right, and then let me put the information about the East Orange Police. So if you see her or know her whereabouts, please call the East Orange Police Department. please call the East Orange Police Department at 973-266-5041 or 973-266-5030 or 973-266-5060. Let's bring Josiah Moore home. And I hope I am pronouncing her name correctly. Josiah Moore from East Orange, New Jersey. Listen, you guys, I only ask you to push that button to share. If you don't like the information that I'm spreading about my topics, that's fine. But just share this information because this is important. Let's find this baby Josiah. All right. So tonight, oh my gosh, we have something big in store. What the heck? I need to drink my coffee. This is coffee, you guys. Okay, hold on for a second. What the heck is happening at Howard University? I have no idea what is happening at Howard. The only thing I know is based on reports generated from Howard University students that's been on the news, their Instagram page, things of that nature. But I have to tell you what I'm seeing is very disturbing. And it's very disturbing on so many fronts. But I want you all to see what I have been seeing about Howard University in the news. Now, if you don't know anything about Howard University was founded in 1867 by Oliver Otis Howard. And Howard University is located in the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. The tuition costs about $45,000 before financial aid. So that's just a little backdrop about Howard University, but I need you to watch this clip.
Stand up. Somebody needs to speak. Hands up, whoa. Get your bands up. The world only cares about how your bands look, whoa. Man up. Time only passing when you better man up.
Why did you choose Howard University?
So for what I want to do based around my degree or my major, basically I feel like there's a lack of Black psychologists within the department. So basically for what I want to do, for Black people, I feel like as if they don't think therapy is the way to resolve their problems or that it's an outlet that they can go to, because it's not really that opening if there aren't any psychologists within the field that look like you or can go through the same struggles with you depending on your race. So I feel as if that being at an HBCU and a prestigious HBCU like Howard University, I feel like it would help me get to where I need to be. So from what I know, the overall issue is the president doesn't seem to be that involved with his students, so he doesn't really listen to ongoing problems that are happening around campus, whether it was the cyber attack or the Wi-Fi being out, the heat not working, the laundromat, the laundry rooms were not working because none of us had our Bison cards, which is how we're supposed to pay for laundry, and they were refusing to hand them out to everybody, or get it to everybody on time, so people weren't able to do their laundry for a while, and it didn't seem like people were being aware or even concerned about the issues. And then on top of that, it's been impacting people in their health, their well-being. There's been mold and stuff growing in the air vents that have caused people to become sick, and I feel as if the people who are protesting are going to make a really big difference for generations to come that are going to be going to Howard. And I feel as if the president or whoever is running Howard should listen more instead of trying to, rebel against them. Maybe because I feel as if their points are valid, and I feel as if every student on campus feels their points are valid.
Those are the tents that the students are living in right now. Those are the tents that the students are living in, and it's getting cold. They're going to be living there probably during the winter. I don't know.
Student code of conduct, it is saying that we have the right to protest. So it doesn't make sense to us the fact that we have been threatened with expulsion multiple times, directly from Dr. Evers, the Vice President of Student Affairs, saying that if we do not leave Blackburn, we will be expelled. So with that being said, we will not leave until we get legal academic and disciplinary immunity, period.
And that is what is happening at Howard University. So currently, Howard has a mold issue, a rodent issue, rats, roaches, and a homelessness issue, housing insecurity. And I'm going to talk about all of those things and why this is happening now at Howard University. So it's interesting because, Howard University in DC, the average monthly cost to live in Foggy Bottom, Shaw, and the U Street corridor ranges from $2,500 to $2,700 a month for a loft. $2,500 to $2,700 a month. Now, why is Howard so, I guess, on my radar? One, because it is an HBCU. Number two, listen, I didn't go to Howard. I did not go to Howard at all. However, I am from DC, born and raised in DC, and I lived on Georgia Avenue. So for me, Howard is a staple with, I guess, my upbringing. Howard was definitely a staple. I went to football games when I was younger. I saw plays when I was younger. It was Howard that introduced me actually to Hampton University. That's where I went, the Standard of Excellence. Hello. But it was Howard that introduced me to these things. So as a fellow HBCU graduate, as a parent of a current HBCU student at Hampton University, and as a niece, I am very concerned with the state of HBCUs, particularly Howard. And I tell you why. Let me show you this. These are the graduates, the alum of Howard. Listen, look, these are some heavy hitters. You have Felicia Rashad. You have Debbie Allen, Ossie Davis, Lynn Whitfield, Roxy Rucker, Taraji P. Henson, Anthony Anderson, Wendy Raquel Robinson, Isaiah Washington, Paula J. Parker, Laz Alonzo, Kamala Harris, VP, Vice President Kamala Harris, Chadwick Boseman, Lala Anthony, and Lance Gross, to name a few. Those are just the few of the alumni that attended Howard University. So now Howard University says they have no money to repair their moldy dorms. All right. So we're going to dig into this tonight because there's more to this than meets the eye. I'm telling you, come on in, come on in, come on into the urban suite. Let me tell you, because this is affecting our children, our students. This is affecting the next generation because I guarantee you, most of these students that graduate from Howard or a lot of the other HBCUs graduate with a ton load of debt. So now these students that are attending Howard University, especially the upperclassmen, they are living in their cars. They're living in tents right now because they have 4 demands. And I'm going to go over the demands in just a bit. But I want you to take note of this. I said that tuition at Howard is $45,000. The living expense around the U Street corridor. Listen, let me tell you about U Street corridor. When I was growing up, the U Street corridor was filled with pimps and prostitutes. Now, you can't even afford to live there with someone else unless you have a full-time job or unless you have parents that are willing to pay your rent. I can't believe $2,700, $2,700 a month for studio rentals in the Foggy Bottom area. That's where George Washington University is, Shaw area, and the U Street corridor. Unbelievable. But I told you, urbanites, in my Dave Chappelle episode, I told you the 3 things that affected these students why they can't live in the area: crack, crime, and colonization. When the crack swooped in, the crime swooped in, and then the colonizers swooped in. And they purchased all of this property. Howard University didn't purchase it. They purchased all of this property, and now the rental is very expensive because now what are you doing? You're cutting out the students who can't afford it. And you're bringing in people just like you who can afford $2,700 a month for a studio apartment. Remember, they tried to make it into a dog park. Anyway, let me read on. So, Mackenzie Scott, ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, donated $40 million to Howard University last year. I don't know where that money went. You all need to ask, where did the money go? Mackenzie Scott, ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, donated $40 million to Howard University last year. Yes, she did. And guess what? Still moldy dorms. Anyway, listen, Howard University is known for being corrupt. And this is according to WTOP News. A former employee in Howard University's finance office pled guilty to defrauding the college of more than $100,000 in financial aid. Dominique Mosley, 35, from D.C., pled guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. The charge and subsequent plea stemmed from a scheme she devised with the co-conspirator and another former employee, Brian Johnson. D.C.'s attorney's office said that Mosley approached Johnson about applying fraudulent financial aid awards onto Johnson's student profile in the fall of 2016. Johnson would then kick back half of the money to Mosley. Listen, that's according to WTOP News. That's not my opinion. That is according to WTOP News. There's a lot of shenanigans happening at Howard, even now with these students protesting. So listen, one of the things I mentioned, I said housing insecurity. Now, people may ask, well, what is housing insecurity? Housing insecurity is basically when a person does not secure a home. They are homeless. Howard University students, not all, but some are currently living in the tents. You saw it in the video, okay? Also, they're living in their cars because they cannot afford the rent that they are forced to pay in the surrounding area. So they have a couple of options. One, they have to move to Maryland, primarily Prince George's County, or Virginia, which we call the DMV, Northern Virginia, District, Maryland, and Virginia, Northern Virginia, where rentals are somewhat cheaper, but they're still expensive. So those are one of the options. The other option is to drop out. Howard's graduation rate is about 54 to 59%, according to reports. And you can research that to see if that's true or not. But yes, I'm not going to come up in here and tell you, and make up stuff. Their graduation rate is 54 to 59%. And most people drop out because they cannot afford it. And those that do graduate, they have a ton load of debt. So if Howard costs $45,000 a year, now that does not include board. That's just tuition. We're talking about board. You have to add on another, maybe generously speaking, $10,000. That's like $55,000 to $60,000 a year to attend Howard University, with room and board and all of that stuff included. So you come out of Howard with the debt exceeding probably, I'm being generous, $60,000 to $100,000 in debt coming out of college. So you're behind the 8 ball already. You're behind the 8 ball already when you graduate, from a school, and you are in so much debt. So listen, Howard has been a bid fellow with this place called, let's see, what is it called? Corvias. 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 Now, Corvias, they consider Corvias slumlords. Now, let me read something to you about Corvias. Very interesting here. So Corvias is known as a corporate slumlord that is tied up with multiple controversies across the country. That's not my opinion. I'm not making this up. This is from the Live Movement. And one of the things that they have is with the Fort Bragg, North Carolina military. So the defendants are Corvias Group, LLC, Bragg Communities, LLC, Corvias Management Army, LLC, Bragg Purcern Partners, LLC, Corvias Military Living, LLC, and Corvias Construction, LLC. So who is Corvias? So Corvias, the founder is John Purcern, John Purcern, Picerne, John Purcern. So listen to this. This is according to Stars and Stripes. This is Fort Bragg, North Carolina. After a series of legal motions, a judge agreed last week to dismiss portions of a class action suit alleging poor management of Fort Bragg housing against 4 defendants, but left intact the legal actions against 2 others. Now, what has happened is Fort Bragg families filed a lawsuit in June of 2020, stating that Corvias conspired to conceal harmful, listen to what I'm getting ready to say, harmful environmental and structural housing defects from unsuspecting service members and their families, and failed to comply with applicable building and housing codes, environmental and structural defects, harmful. That's Corvallis with Fort Bragg military base. The other one is, let's see, there's so many here. Oh my gosh. The other one is in Rhode Island, in Providence, Rhode Island. That's one that they have a case against or whatever. And then the other one is the UCWGA Union at the University Systems of Georgia has spoken out against Corvallis for pressuring the universities to open during the pandemic. So it seems like Corvallis is very greedy and they're slumlords. So what is happening now with Howard? Howard is now in bed with Corvallis. Okay. They have a 40-year lease with Corvallis. So it's been spread out there that Howard sold the buildings. No, they did not sell the buildings. They leased them. So they have a 40-year lease from 2016 to 2056 with Corvallis. Now this says, this is on the Corvallis website. Okay. And they have a Howard University portal. So you can go to the Corvallis website, Corvias, and look this information up yourself. It says, Howard University and the Corvallis are partners in the creation of a long-term solution to student success, okay, through housing and residence life. They have a 40-year agreement. The capital raise for this was $144 million. Now, it looks like for that 2,275 beds, I don't know. The total local economic impact, $1.6 billion, okay. And the debt, something they're saying 39.5. I have no idea what they're talking about. But anyway, that's not what the students are saying. All right, so basically, the students are complaining because of their living conditions in this Corvallis structure. They're complaining of environmental factors like mold. Now, if you saw my episode last week about the disparity with women and breast cancer and why Black women have breast cancer and they die at a higher rate due to one of the disparities is environmental factors. Mold is an environmental factor which can lead to cancer, which can lead to respiratory issues, which can lead to being poisoned. So the president of Howard University, Dr. Frederick, who I believe is an alum of Howard University, he would like the protesters to stop and I guess to go back to their moldy dwelling and do what? Inhale the mold? Like, what does he want them to do? To stop, to go back to their mold, stop protesting, to go back and sleep in their car, stop protesting to do what? So I'm going to share with you their 4 demands, the students' 4 demands. But before I get into this, Corvallis, now remember I told you they have a, who the owner is or the founder, John Purcern. They have a foundation. Now these are the people on the Corvallis Foundation. The founder, John Purcern. You have Caroline Purcern. You have Alexandra Purcern. You have Isabella Acevedo, and you have another one. He seems to be underage because he's in high school in the Northeast, so I don't want to repeat his name out loud. However, this is on their website, the Corvallis Foundation website. His name is published, but I'm not going to say his name because he appears to be a minor. But you have John Purcern, who's the founder of Corvallis. You have Caroline Purcern. You have Alexander Purcern. So apparently all of them are family members, which there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. And then you have Isabella Azevedo. And then you have another one. And then the foundation staff, there are 2 staff on the foundation, Maria Montalvo and Chloe Cook. So that's the foundation. So this Curvius seems to be racking in on the money. All right. So let me continue. For more than 2 weeks, actually it's been 3 weeks. Today marks day 21. Students have been protesting. 21 days, students have been sleeping in their tents. 21 days, students have no housing, because apparently what has been happening is the freshmen come in and they have a cap of, say, for instance, 1,500, but they allow an intake or admit 3,000 freshmen. The freshmen take up room and space for the upperclassmen. So the juniors and seniors apparently don't have on-campus housing, or it's a lottery. So if you can't get in that lottery situation and you don't have, on-campus housing, you have to look within the surrounding area where it's $2,700 a month for a studio apartment. So maybe you have to room with 5 people in a studio apartment. I don't know how that would play with your mental state. I don't know. But this is what happens, unfortunately, when you don't own anything. If you don't own property, you cannot be, you can't make decisions in a sense. So what has happened is, during the colonization, the gentrification of Washington, D.C., the housing has shifted, and now it's really affecting African American students. So this is according to the Hilltop. This is the university student-run paper. So it says, more than 2 weeks, Howard University students have been protesting living conditions and a lack of housing opportunities at the school. According to the Hilltop, University President Wayne A.I. Frederick said, listen to this, only 38 reports of mold were found. He said only 38 reports of mold were found in dorms throughout campus. Only 38. That's a lot to me, because if there's 38, there's got to be more. So let's go on to see what he says. He maintained that the issue was to be expected from wet and humid conditions in buildings that had not been used in over a year. He also said that these cases would not be the only ones. What did I say? He said the cases would not be the only ones. He said we're going to have more. So what? You're going to find more mold, more rodents, because remember, rodents, brings asthma. So you have all these toxic conditions, these students paying $45,000, that's just the baseline salary, to be ingested by poison. Listen, Wayne also addressed the claims that the university created a housing shortage by selling some of his former dorms, like Lucy Diggs Slow Hall and Meridian Hill Hall. He said these dorms were not sold and the university could not afford the repair. Listen to what I just said. He said these dorms were not sold and the university could not afford the repairs needed for both the buildings. Okay. But then, listen, I don't know where the money was allocated, but you were just awarded $40 million last year. So, listen, I don't know where the 40 million is, but apparently it's not going into housing or dorms, because according to what you just said, you could not afford the repairs needed for both the buildings, which led the school to leasing them for immediate revenue. And they leased it to whom? Who did they lease it to? They leased it to Curvius. Yes, they leased it to Curvius. Frederick And Executive Vice President Dr. Tashni Ann Dubroy also stated that COVID-19 had made planning for housing needs of incoming students a more difficult task than previous years. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Everybody's blaming COVID for everything. Everybody's using COVID as a scapegoat. I can't do this because of COVID. We can't go back to this because of COVID. I can't leave my bed because of COVID. I like working from home, so I'm not used to going back because of COVID. COVID seems to be the rationale of why so many things are not happening in this world. But listen, that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. So let's get to what the demands are. All right. So they have 4 demands. So let me switch back to this to go over what these demands are. Number 1, one of the demands is they want an in-person town hall with the president. The students want an in-person town hall with the president. The president said, oh, nope, don't want that. Nope, no. How about a little meeting behind closed doors? See, transparency is very important. Now, and I understand where the president is coming from, because you have some people that may get out of hand and may be disrespectful and may challenge him. But guess what? Deal with it. These are students that came from a home that are now homeless. You need to deal with it. These are students that came from a home that may not be infected and infested with mold. Deal with it. These are students who came from a home who now may be homeless, sleeping in their car. You should deal with it. So you all, the students, want a town hall. The president is like, oh, no, don't want a town hall. That's just too much. You all may be too rude, too out of the pocket. Hey. And they wanted that scheduled before the end of October. Well, as I started out, today is November the 2nd. That did not happen. A town hall did not happen with the president. All right. So number 2, permanently reinstate all affiliate trustee positions. That means students, faculty, and alumni on the board of trustees. They want permanently to reinstate that. They want a commitment in writing from the chairman of the board of trustees for immediate reinstatement of permanent affiliate trustee positions with permanent voting power. That's what they want. The representatives from the past selected student affiliate trustees who were not seated at the time due to the pandemic will have a confirmed opportunity to serve a 1-year term. The permanent reinstatement of all affiliate trustee positions officially occurs at the beginning of the next election cycle. So they want that. That's demand number 2. Demand number 3 is the president and the chairman of the board. They want them to propose a meeting with student leadership outlining their housing plan to protect the incoming classes of Howard's immediate future. Now, what the heck is wrong with that? They want the president and the chairman of the board to propose a meeting with student leadership outlining their housing plan to protect the incoming classes of Howard's immediate future. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, what's so wrong with that? Because what you're doing now, your enrollment may decline. Your enrollment, it was very high because the VP graduated from Howard, which is a disgrace, in my opinion. not that she graduated from Howard, but that this is happening now when you have the first VP that went to an HBCU, and now everybody, well, not everybody, because a lot of people didn't know about it, but it's now public view. And I'm just curious. I wonder what the VP is thinking or doing about this. I don't know, but I think you all should ask where that $40 million went that was donated. Anyway, and let's see. And demand number 4, legal, disciplinary, and academic immunity for all participants, both occupying the inside and outside of the Blackburn building. Yes, so students have taken over the Blackburn building inside and outside. From my understanding, there's only one small cafeteria that's open. The other big cafeteria is not open, and it is a mess. It is a mess at Howard University, and I have to say, this breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. So listen, Jesse Jackson actually came down to help negotiate. So I think Jesse Jackson, who, he's been around for a very long time. He's 80 years old. I believe he met with the president. I believe, but the students have not. I don't think the students have that are paying tuition. I don't think the students have that are living with mold. I don't think the students have that are living with rodents, rats, roaches. I don't think they have met with the president, but Jesse Jackson did. Unfortunately, he had a fall and hit his head. You can't make this up. This is according to the New York Post. It says the Reverend Jesse Jackson was hospitalized on Monday, yesterday, November the 1st, after he failed during a visit to Howard University to advocate on behalf of students protesting campus living conditions. He's 80 years old. Unfortunately, he fell and hit his head. The 80-year-old civil rights leader took a spill and hit his head while entering a building on the Washington, D.C. campus, according to his spokesman, Frank Watkins. And this is according to the New York Post. Jackson was taken to Howard University Hospital, where he would be kept overnight for observation. He underwent a CT scan that came back normal, Watkins said. The political activist was at the university to attend a meeting with Howard president Wayne A.I. Frederick and students. Jackson, who has Parkinson's disease, has previously been hospitalized at least twice this year. He was admitted to a Chicago hospital for a breakthrough COVID-19 infection. So that means basically he was vaccinated. He was fully vaccinated and contracted COVID in August and required weeks of physical therapy afterwards. And also he has a gallbladder surgery. He had gallbladder surgery earlier in the year. So now this 80-year-old civil rights leader took a spill. Now let me ask you, let me bring this back up. We have Felicia Rashad, who works at Howard. Debbie Allen, she does her own thing. Ossie Davis, rest in peace. Lynn Whitfield, Roxy Rucker, rest in peace. Taraji P. Henson, Anthony Anderson, Wendy Raquel Robinson, Isaiah Washington, Paula J. Parker, Laz Alonso, VP of the United States, Kamala Harris, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Lala Anthony, Lance Gross. What is alumni doing about this? Are they sitting silent? Are they sitting on their hands? What in the world are they doing? Listen, I even reached out to alumni that I know and said, do you want to participate, be on the show, just to give your point of view, to give, your side of the story, your take? It was crickets. I'm like, I have no idea what is happening. I feel as if the alumni is out of touch. I feel like the alumni don't care. They got their degree. They're going on about, their business. And that's why endowments are low. Endowments are low compared to other schools, predominantly white schools. The endowment of HBCUs are very, very low because who is giving back? Listen. It's like pulling teeth to get people, alum, to become involved. But yet we complain. We complain about other communities and how much money they have. But we don't donate our time, our treasure, and our talent to that level. You have some heavy hitters that can make a voice, that can be a voice, that can be the voice for the voiceless. What are you doing, alum of Howard University? I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. Because at the end of the day, I guess you saying, I got mine. I got mine. You little bison, you gotta act, be activist and get your own little thing. Do your own little thing. No. See, that's a crooked, warped mindset. And this is why the wealth gap will never be closed between Blacks and whites, because we're so involved in ourselves. We're so selfish. I have mine. You got to get yours. And guess what? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The wealth gap is going to steadily increase because, like I said, if you graduate from schools like Howard, you're going to come out with so much debt that your salary would not even top your debt. So you're going to come out in the negative. According to Fox News, on average, the Black household earns $17,000, while white households earn $171,000. That's a huge gap. A huge gap. And now what's happening is, because of a situation like this, because lack of housing, enrollment will probably decrease, which will make room for other communities. Listen to where I'm going with this. For other communities to come in to enroll in Howard because they can afford the housing in the area. Oh, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. You students probably, I'm going to say something. You students, you probably had your fist up for the Dreamers. Well, the Dreamers are getting ready to take over Howard University because guess what? All the money that's coming to them, they can afford housing. Oh my God. Oh, in my opinion, if you don't know about Dreamers, research them, who they are. They can go to school for free. And the students at Howard University cannot go for free. The students at Howard University are sleeping in their cars, but the Dreamers can go to top schools for free. Oh my gosh. Listen to what I'm saying carefully. We have to change our mindset. And I'm speaking to my Hamptonians also. It's like pulling teeth. Pulling teeth. You have your degree. You have your diploma. You wear the Hampton paraphernalia. But do you donate? Do you give? Do you give your money? Do you give your time? Do you give your talents? Do you give back to your HBCU? Or is it, you know what? I don't care about it. I got mine. It looks good on my resume. It looks good on my wall. And that's all I'm concerned about. Well, guess what? You are selfish. Ooh, I got to lay it into you. I have to lay it into you. I have to lay it into you. Because even, Lord, forgive me what I'm getting ready to say. I cannot fathom not giving back financially to the school that assisted me in being who I am today. I don't care if it's $10 a month. I don't care if it's $5 a month. I don't care if it's 15 cents a week. Give back something. Give your time. Give your talent. Give your treasure. I'm sure you can afford $10 a month. And if you can't afford $10 a month and you have graduated 30 years, 40 years ago, I'm going to pray for you. I am. But you look good with your Hampton or Howard t-shirt on, displaying the banner on the wall, proud that you go there. But do you give them any money? Do you give them your time, except for homecoming? Listen, I don't know. But I'm telling you now, the endowment rate and the amount of Harvard University alone is more than Howard, Hampton, Tuskegee, Spelman, Morehouse put together. So kudos to the students at Howard University. Again, I did not attend Howard University. I attended Hampton University, the standard of excellence. We had our problems too, but our president, this is his last year, he handled it slightly different. I would recommend the parents, like, where are the parents of the students? Like, I feel like there's, I don't know, get involved. Call the president's office. You have the telephone number. And if you don't have the telephone number, you can go to the Howard University campus. Get involved, parents. Don't just sit on the sideline. I'm so glad this didn't happen when I was in school. Because, you know, my mother loves writing letters. She loves writing letters. And at that time, she worked at EEOC under Clarence Thomas, who is now the Supreme Court Justice. Listen. Students, continue to do what you're doing. Don't give in. Don't give up. Stay the course. You know your purpose. You know your convictions. You know your why. Just keep going. And when you graduate, don't be like other selfish alum, not giving back. When you graduate, give back $5. But I understand, because if you're in so much debt, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very, very hard. Very hard to give back. Man, let me tell you, This is a doozy. I'm going to see what's going to happen as a result of this, but I would like to see the alum that have graduated from Howard step up to the plate. The spotlight is on you, Howard. You're considered the Mecca for so many reasons. And now the Mecca because the VP came from your institution. But now the Mecca, according to reports, is filled with mold. The Mecca is filled with rats, roaches, and homelessness. And that is not a good look at all. So, again, I need you to like, I need you to share, and I need you to subscribe. And if you're on my Facebook platforms, I need you to follow me so you can get notifications every time I come on live. I'm going to keep you abreast of what's happening at Howard University because, like I said, growing up in DC on Georgia Avenue, Howard University is a staple for me. And anyone that graduated from an HBCU, you should stand with Howard. I stood with Howard when they made it into a dog park. I believe I called the president, emailed something because that was just awful. In my opinion, that was a test run. In my opinion. So anyway, you Bison, don't give up. This pirate is here to support you. This pirate is here to pray for you. And if you, and I know you do, you need tents, you need food supplies, you need probably water, whatever I can do, I'm going to send something to you guys because at the end of the day, you're fighting not only for Howard, but you're fighting for other HBCUs. And ultimately, this is why you are the Mecca, because you are the lead in taking actions like this. And we appreciate you. We love you. We joke about who the real HU is, but that we can do that amongst ourselves. You feel me? We can do that amongst ourselves, but outsiders, no. Because if an outsider comes against one of us, both of us are going to come against the outsider. So this is a family thing. This is a HBCU family thing. At the end of the day, remember, it's more than just wearing paraphernalia. It's about really becoming and being involved with the institution that granted you access into the world in which you are living now. So anyway, I am getting ready to sign off, sign out, and I love you, my urbanites. Be blessed and stay safe. Until next time, which will be next week, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time inside the Urban Suite. Good night.